as we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Join Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as he delivers to us the preachings of the Sunday's Gospel that's awe-inspiring yet easy to understand and appreciate. Let us all listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air, only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
To open our eyes and ears that we may see the face of Christ and hear His voice in our midst. For 28 years, Jesuit Communications has been promoting the Catholic faith and serving the nation through both traditional and new media. Hear us tackle national issues in light of Christian values on Usapang Kapatid, Pasakalye, and Radio Veritas. Watch our uplifting reflections on Kapek Pandasal and The Word Exposed, as well as our acclaimed TV specials. Listen to the inspiring and soothing music of Jesuit Music Ministry's original artists as you read our spiritually enriching books. To learn more about JustCom's mission of evangelization and education, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, justcom.ph. To give a face to the faceless and a voice to the voiceless, that we may recognize Christ in them and hear His story in theirs.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 radyo Katipunan, radyo Katipunan, radyo Katipunan, radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan, radyo Katipunan. Voice of the Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
Cut! Good take! Want to hear our take on all your favorite filmy things? Tune in to Clapback, the radio show for film critics, production news, pop culture, and social commentary, serving as a place for our voice in our cinematic universe. Hosted by the Loyola Film Circle, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Action!
Hello, what's up, everyone?
Hey, everybody.
I'm Max, and when it
And
comes to
I am
films, I serve you the facts. Why are you so excited? Go.
Oh, I'm just happy to start. It's our first It's our anniversary of our first time. I'm Austin. Some people say I'm chill, just here to keep it real and serve you your daily movie fill.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of, yes, it is Clapback's first anniversary. We started Halloween last year, so now we're celebrating our first year. And joining us today to celebrate is the very first producer of Clapback. This is all his brainchild, Dom Vicente. So Dom, show yourself.
Oh,
Hi,
there.
Dom.
Hey, Dom.
Hi, guys.
There you are. How are
It's good to be
you?
back. Well, I graduated last month, so it's pretty
Congratulations.
How's it
chill
going so
back.
far?
I'm bored,
Wow.
technically, because it's been 7 months, guys, since an actual productive day for me. So, like, I'm just waiting for new interesting things to happen.
So what you been
Se-
watching
Like
lately?
today.
It's funny.
Oh,
7 months and we're
lately,
going on 8. Yes, lately. What have you been watching or what's been scaring you? Whichever.
I tried to watch The Queen's Gambit, but I can't seem to get into it yet. So lately, I've just been because it's taken me 12 years, but I've recently only started Modern Family, and
Oh,
I
that's a
finished
good
it last
one.
week. Yeah,
That's a really funny one.
What
yeah.
about you, Austin? What have you been watching?
Ooh, can't really say I've been watching anything with finals and everything. That's crazy. But yeah, I think lately I watched the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad because I was searching like old movies and like there was a Halloween like themed short in that movie, so that made me want to watch it. And it was actually pretty good. It's an old Disney film that a lot of people kind of forgotten about.
All right, that sounds interesting. So I have been watching nothing but my Canvas dashboard. Been refreshing, watching the notifications come in because yes, it's finals. And speaking of Athenians, welcome to a new quarter. It starts today. Check Canvas for a bunch of surprises. Everything's fine. So
Oh, that's great.
anyway, on a serious note, I actually did watch Entrapment, which is a Sean Connery movie, but we'll get to that later when we
Oh,
talk about him.
R.I.P.
Right. So
Yeah.
anyway, current events. So a lot has actually been happening in the movie scene, both here and abroad. Like I think things have started moving forward, especially since we're approaching 2021. Like apart from movie companies pushing for cinematic releases, a lot has been going on and a lot is set to be released via stream. So anyway, to start, Hayop Ka has been getting a lot of acclaim and attention because it's the first Filipino adult cartoon that's on Netflix. And I think it's on Netflix Asia and not just Netflix Philippines. So I actually saw it. And for local animation, it's a really good step. Like the scenery, the animation itself, world classic, really good. Can compete with movies abroad. But what
What
I
about the
am a bit
story?
iffy. Yes, I was about to get into that. The plot was not my cup of tea. Dom, did you watch it?
not yet, but I've heard things. So
Okay, so I'll talk a bit about it. So, I guess mild spoiler alert, but it plays on the usual Filipino theme of having a kabit. So, for me, like to put that out on Netflix, I'm not sure if that's the right choice, especially given that this is our
What do you
first
mean by kabit?
animated entry. Third party,
So it's like
having a
more
third
about
party.
cheating and
Yeah,
like
kind of,
yeah, like
kind of
the
like that.
usual teleserye drama,
Yes,
from what I've
but
heard.
animation wise, it's a good step. So I'm hoping to see more animated movies with different types of stories. So
Oh,
anyway,
speaking of something with different types of stories, Chappelle Show just came out on Netflix US, which means it's probably just gonna be a while before it comes here. And as someone who loves Dave Chappelle, I cannot tell you how amazing it is that this show is coming. Like the shorts in this show is really good. You can watch a lot of them actually on YouTube, but it's nice to have them on Netflix because you'll have them like in totality. They only give you so much on YouTube.
okay, you have like 30 seconds more to fangirl about him, and then I'm gonna have to cut you off.
You know what? I think I said too much already. Why don't you give us our next piece of information?
Legally Blonde 3 is set to come out in 2022, and I am so excited for that. I really love Elle Woods, and I'm so excited to see where the story is going because it's going to be written by Dan Gore, who writes the script for B99 and has written for Parks and Rec, and Mindy Kaling. So I'm hoping it's going to be just as nice as like the first two, and it's going
I
to
heard
be
there's no
produced
plot
by
yet,
Reese
though.
Witherspoon. Yeah, there is no plot, but fans are speculating that
mean-
Elle is gonna run for president.
Mm.
What
Well,
do you guys
I
think?
hope that they're
Pretty
just
relevant for today.
Today in particular, right? If Elle Woods ran for president, would you guys vote for her?
yes.
If we could, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
with the slate of leaders we have now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see, like, no matter what the plot is, because this will take place, like, I think 10 years after Elle graduates from college. So it's going to be really interesting to see where the character goes that far after Harvard. So what else do we have in movie
Well,
news?
I heard there's also Moon Knight coming out starring Oscar Isaac and directed by Muhammad Diab. I heard he's like an Egyptian filmmaker, which is kind of interesting because, you know, Moon Knight is a story about this billionaire who tries to find this tomb and then gets the power of Moon Knight, which is a spirit of vengeance, but also causes him to go a bit insane. But it's kind of cool that the filmmaker is also Egyptian. Yeah, and he's also, I heard he's a relatively new director, but I haven't seen any of
Yes,
his
he
movies
is.
so far. Yeah.
Is it
Same.
gonna be a movie or a series?
I think it's a Disney Plus series. I think.
Okay.
With Oscar Isaac, as we mentioned, it's what he deserves. I'm excited to see him in this type of character, actually.
Yeah. Because
Oh, and
Moon Knight himself is kind of. I mean, he has like multiple personalities, so it's gonna be.
I'd say he's a darker character for Disney,
Yeah.
like Disney Marvel to take. But I mean, I'm excited to see how they put a spin on this. Given because it's Disney, they may have to like tone down some of the darker elements.
Hopefully
and
they
get the
don't,
comics. Well, I mean, maybe they can find that good middle ground where it's like kind of dark, but not too dark that everyone can still watch. So let's
Yeah.
hope that they can find that middle ground. I hear Insidious 5 is gonna come out, which
It's still going.
yeah, it's kind of questionable, right? I mean, like, for me,
I mean-
I actually enjoyed the first two, but like,
Yeah, the first two were great.
but like
But
five,
then
that's
they went prequel territory, so
well, yeah, that's true.
it
Well,
kind of
anyway,
Maybe it's gonna be like Shake, Rattle, and Roll. There'll be like how many of them?
like Fast and the
Yeah.
Furious, it's just going to keep
That
going.
too, yeah.
So
Yeah, but-
anyway, it's starring and directed by Patrick Wilson. So I wonder how he's gonna direct it. I've only ever seen him as an actor.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, he has stuck around in the Insidious movies for a while. I think he was
yeah,
just gone
he's
for the
the
prequel.
star of the series.
Yeah, the first
Mm.
3, I think. I'm not sure. The first 2, definitely.
Well, anyway, since Patrick Wilson was from DC recently, his comrades, Jared Leto and Amber Heard, are rumored to be reprising their roles for the Snyder Cut reshoot. So
Ooh.
the internet's pretty divided over this, but what I want to say is, what's happening to the story? Like, the Joker wasn't in the
Yeah, he wasn't
original
anywhere
Snyder
near.
Cut. Exactly. He wasn't in the Justice League that came out. So what role is he going to be playing in all of this? Where are they going to venture? I mean, Amber Heard, like, she was in the original Justice League, so you kind of know that, okay, yeah, maybe she did have a bigger plot in the story. But what's the Joker going to do in the Justice League, especially because we know that there were other villains who were part of the Snyder Cut? So what do you guys
I
think?
mean,
I
he
feel
could
like Joker's there just to make maybe Batman look cooler. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I have this like crazy theory that maybe Jared Leto was just telling Snyder like, "Yo, please, I need to redeem myself. The internet's killing me."
he
But
really
I don't
does,
know,
though.
like, but I would like to see Jared Leto if he can maybe redeem himself in this
Yeah.
movie, or is he really just the Joker we all know he was in Suicide Squad?
Yeah. Because it's worth noting that a lot of his part was also cut in the Suicide Squad. So
That's true. Maybe it's like
we
a way to
never
make
really-
amends in some
yeah,
ways.
we never really got to see him in like full scope Joker. Just
Mhm.
the select parts where he's used for Harley's plot in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's already. I mean, it's gonna be a 4-hour movie, so I get they can cram in a lot of actors in it, but then plot-wise, I figure.
Well, I even heard that the original Snyder Cut was kind of a rumor. Like, it wasn't. I heard that there's a theory that it was really non-existent. Like, fans just loved it so much and kept egging him on that. Okay, fine, go release a
Like,
Snyder
okay,
Cut.
we'll make one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, now we're gonna make one, and then now we have to add all these scenes and stuff. So, I feel like that may be why, just to try to make the story deeper. Yeah, because fans really want that too.
That's true. Given how long it was supposedly like that, 4 hours, do you think they'll just go with the mini-series route? And then maybe that's why he's adding more characters, because in a mini-series, there's a little more space.
Oh no, what they're gonna do, Rao, is they're gonna release it week by week, and then they're gonna release another full 4-hour cut of it.
Wow.
So
Well, what will they be
really have an
releasing week
option.
by week?
The 4-episode mini series of the Snyder Cut.
Oh,
But then afterwards, they're gonna give the people a choice if they want to watch it with the 4 episodes or just the entire thing all in one go.
I hope DC doesn't try to get into series like the way Marvel's doing right now, because I think one of the main problems with DC was like they were trying to play catch up with Marvel. That's why they just brought in all these characters, just suddenly just blasted you, and I feel like that's how DC kind of failed in that sense. Marvel really took their time building this world, and that's why we all love it, and we find the universe so populated and so alive. In comparison to DC, where it feels kind of rushed in some sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes, Dom?
Like even with DC TV actually did pretty well in building up their Arrowverse using like Green Arrow as a starting point. But then when you see their DC produced series like Titans, you kind of feel like okay, they're also kind of rushing this because the plot just goes everywhere. Like, not that it's a bad show, it's just it could be way better.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement with Titans. But I also really loved like how they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. I felt like yes, while it can't really compare to the comic book. The comic book was really good. I felt like as a TV special, it got the spirit of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
It just didn't get all of those like really cool fight scenes, I guess. A lot of people did complain about the CGI effects of that. Yeah.
Plus they couldn't kill as many heroes as
that's true. That's
did.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what Dom thought about how many heroes could get
They killed the most important one. So
of course.
Gotta go with that toll count.
Well, anyway, to wrap that part up, I think what the DC cinematic universe needed that the Arrowverse had was good planning. Because, like, this series, you could see that everything was planned out. Just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know that they sat down and talked about this and where they wanted to go. And even if changes needed to happen, they were all on the same page about it and not just like, oh, wing it. This did well. This is doing well. Oh, hey, we can use this.
Yeah,
so anyway,
that's true.
Going back to Disney, Raya and the Last Dragon released a trailer. So what are your thoughts? Dom first.
Avatar.
Korra.
It's Korra without the bending. I mean, there are dragons, but like, I don't know. I'm interested in it. It's just when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, this is Legend of Korra with arnistics, which was really nice.
Honestly, I found the animation and the scenes kind of interesting. It's just like it's kind of okay. So we have Arnie sticks, then we have this guy with the kabuki mask, then we have like fishermen with like Chinese styles. It's like okay, so where are we? Are we just Asia or what country is this from? Like I feel like, especially now with like 2020 and like everyone is on the internet. Very critical about cultures and respecting cultures and cultural appropriation. I feel like Disney runs the risk of angering that audience. So I guess for them, maybe I'd be a bit worried on that end. But as far as animation and like how the story develops, I feel like it seems quite interesting.
It was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah,
How about you,
exactly.
Maxine?
You know, I trust Disney, so I know that whatever happens, it's going to be nice. Like, I know that the characters are going to be interesting, the plot itself is going to be nice, and of course, the animation is going to be good. But like you said about the world, like, where are we? That's what I want to know. So I won't make any judgments until I actually see the movie. But
Yeah.
I have high hopes for it. I'm just really curious as to how they're going to build that world, taking all of these cultures into account.
I mean, they've done it before with Black
Exactly.
Panther.
Well, yeah, I'm also
So-
getting a bit worried about like how Disney's just. I feel like they're casting Asianness as like a fad because you see them just popping up
Yeah.
like Mariah, then you have Mulan. So I feel like I don't know if this is like, is this just gonna be a short-term thing, and then they'll just
Or
go
is
back to
this-
the way they were,
yeah.
or is this a start of something new? So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, exactly. But the cast of this looks interesting. So we have Kelly Marie Tran as Raya and Aquafina rumored to be the dragon.
Oh, it's confirmed na.
Oh, it's confirmed. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, Aquafina is
I loved
really
it.
cool in Crazy Rich Asians, and I
Crazy
feel like
Rich
her
Asians,
Exactly.
like her demeanor is very like it's very. I feel like it's good for kids too. Like it's something they can enjoy.
Knowing that
Like
she's
a
going to
female
be a
Mushu.
dragon. That's what I was about to say. Knowing that she's a female dragon, it's going to be like a female Mushu. And I found her funny in Crazy Rich Asians. So
Mhm.
I have high hopes for how she's going to be the dragon. So like let's just see how the dragon comes in the story. Because I know that Raya is supposedly looking for the dragon. So I'm hoping that majority of the movie will still have the dragon there. But we
Yeah.
have to wait
True.
for it to come out.
Ooh, I hear Aquafina and Sandra are gonna star in a Netflix comedy though.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, they're playing
God.
sisters and they're going to be polar opposite sisters. So one is going to be like the recluse introvert sister and one is going to be the really outgoing, as IMDb describes, the total train wreck sister, and they're both going to turn their lives upside down trying to get on a game show. So what do you guys think? Are they going to cast this how we expect it? Because people are saying like, oh, obviously Aquafina is going to be the outgoing sister and Sandra Oh is
Yeah,
going to
and
be the
Sandra Oh is
quiet
the-
sister. But what do you think? Do you think they'll go that route or will they surprise us and make them switch personalities? Because I think either way would be interesting to see.
I can
Probably.
definitely see. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Don, you go first.
No, I mean, I can see them going, like switching it up, but I think it's a safer bet to just really put Aquafina as the outgoing type, because like you expect it from her, but then it'd be interesting to see Sandra Oh as the whole like out there person.
I think I can see that happening, but then like for some reason I can see like, okay, that's so obvious. Like Aquafina would be this and Sandra would be that. So maybe like, she's Christine from Grey's Anatomy and she's the friend from, I forgot her name in Crazy Situations. But like her character was still very memorable. But like
Super.
so they already have what they're kind of known for. So it'd be cool to like turn it on its head. And like I can definitely see Aquafina being kind of a like trying to be kind of a nerd. And maybe
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
seeing her portray that type of character will be funny in itself because you know how she is.
yeah, that's
So-
true.
Yeah.
And she also
Yeah.
played like like Sandra Oh has always been playing straight characters too. Like she played the principal in Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries, exactly. That's the
Yeah, and
image
then-
of Sandra Oh I have in my head. Princess Diaries.
Or like Christine for Grey's Anatomy. A lot of people
Yes.
like
Yeah.
always see her as that because I think that show's been running since forever.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be written by Jen D'Angelo, who also wrote an upcoming Hocus Pocus sequel. So I have high hopes for the script. And it's going to be produced by Will Ferrell and Jessica Elbaum. So
Oh,
not
Will
a lot of
Ferrell.
details yet. I know, right? I'm
I've
surprised.
not
Anyway.
heard his name in a while.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
now we know why. He's producing now. So, anyway, we will see how this goes since there are hardly any details. So anyway, the other day, they released Mandalorian Season 2, and I refuse to see it until I finish rewatching the whole first season. Dom, I know you've been obsessed with it. So what's been happening?
I can't spoil it though. But let's just say they did a very good standalone episode while also
Mm-hmm.
setting up the story for the rest of the season. And apparently, Ewan McGregor also did test runs on the Mando set because apparently they'll also be producing the Obi-Wan series the same way they did Mando by using computer. Like, can you believe that most of the Mando set is actually just computer generated? So they're gonna go that route for um Kenobi. I was gonna say Obi-Wan, but I forgot.
Actually, was really
They
cool
used the
about
last
how
one.
they shot Mandalorian was they didn't use a lot of CGI. They had a lot of just they did sets and they use flat screens and then they had it on around the whole set. So it
That's
was
what
it
I
for them
saw.
it saved a lot of like a lot on CGI because apparently CGI, especially done at the caliber of doing Star Wars or Marvel, is really pricey. So they were able to get like a lot of like uh budget cuts for that. So yeah, and it also like paid off really well in like the
Mm-hmm.
final.
No, it's very innovative actually, how they set it up and how they found a way to do that. And like there, it's helping them out build the new Star Wars world. Anyway, I saw that Ewan McGregor doing test runs on the Mandalorian set, and he said it was a nice experience because he was in costume, but there were different people around him from the original movie. So he feels like, oh, I'm Obi-Wan again and I'm on a new adventure. And he said it's a good feeling. So I'm excited to see how Kenobi
Me
turns out
too.
as well.
Me too. I mean, I loved him in episode 3. You know, you have the high ground.
Episode 3 was the best.
Always,
Yeah.
always the best.
Yes, of course. That higher ground meme, it still holds. Like, I still
It has
see
not
new
died.
versions of it every day, and it's been over 10
It's
years.
been 10 years.
So relatable.
It's been 15 years actually.
It's been
Has
that
it?
long.
Man, it's been so long.
2005.
I
Episode 3 was 2005.
wow.
Wow,
Eh,
we were all still in preschool.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually. But oh, I heard
Yeah.
something else. I heard Timothy Chalamet is making a
Chalamet.
Chalamet, sorry, is leading a Bob
Chalamet.
Dylan biopic, and from James Mangold, and I really find that to be really cool because I am a big fan of Bob Dylan. Like me being a fan, because I actually like really like 60s music, and
Mhm.
you can't have 60s music without Bob Dylan. So like to be able to have this would be like really cool to watch. I'm pretty excited for this.
Would you say Timothy Chalamet is a good pick for the role?
I'd say, I think because I can't put anyone else in mind, yes. But yeah, but I'm just more excited to see like the journey of Bob Dylan because I have not, um, I don't know much about Bob Dylan besides his music. But it really does suck that the project actually did get shelved because of COVID restrictions. So yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and apart from that, James Mangold will be moving to Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
So that's going to be keeping him occupied for a pretty long time. But I'm kind of surprised that Indiana Jones 5 is still in the works because I know that after 4, they really did plan to have a 5, just like Insidious, a 5. But like, I thought that after a few years, it was shelved because in 2008, they gave us Indiana Jones 4. And they were like, oh, we're going to follow it up with a 5. And then 3 years later, we still didn't get the 5. So I just assumed, like, oh, okay, they probably left it alone. Then now I hear, like, oh, it's in action. Like, it's gonna happen. So I'm
I think
excited to
it's.
see what story they come up with.
I feel like maybe they're past the fear because of what happened in 4. They're like, okay, maybe let's give a while before the hate for Indiana Jones dies
Yeah.
down. So, yeah. But speaking of Indiana Jones, yo, Sean Connery
I know.
died.
Mm.
Like he was in the 3rd movie. I mean, he's not Indiana Jones, but still.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was Indiana Jones's dad.
I mean,
so
he's the original in Indy.
That's
Tech-
true. I mean,
yes,
in the
yes,
world,
that's
yeah,
you
he
would
is.
see
In the
her,
world.
Yeah.
I'd say like maybe my favorite role for Sean Connery was James Bond.
of course.
I love
mean,
James Bond. Like
Mm.
after I saw Daniel Craig's movies, like of James Bond, I started really getting into James Bond, and I watched some of the old ones. And Sean Connery as James Bond was just—he's everything you'd imagine what James Bond would be. Like when they always talk
Yeah.
about him and say like, "How is James Bond?" They're talking about Sean Connery. Like him and Doctor No and Goldfinger is just amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. And James Bond is the role that allowed him to gain prominence in the industry. So like it's safe to say that he really is the James Bond blueprint. I mean, up until now when they like say, "Oh, James Bond," sometimes they still show pictures of him instead of who the current James Bond is. So you know that
Yeah.
it really left a mark.
I mean, if you're the first, I mean, it's really hard to be the
Of
first.
course. So you know what?
He is the basics of James Bond. Like
Exactly.
finesse, suave, and all of that. He didn't need to be super physical to get out of situations, and he was just really he owned the character.
That's true. Although a funny thing about it that I kind of noticed was he didn't sound as British because Sean Connery was a Scotsman. He was a really proud Scots.
Yeah.
He was a really proud Scotsman. So I didn't think he was gonna let it go. He was like, no, I'm gonna sound a bit like this. Because when you think about it, James Bond is from the UK. So I mean, he could have come from. He didn't have to come from Britain or London. So it's pretty interesting, like how he made it his own, even though it was like a British guy from MI6.
Yes, he really loved Scotland. You know, before he started acting, he was actually in the Navy, but he had to leave for health reasons. So he took like different jobs, like he would shovel coal, lay bricks, and even polish coffins. But after a while, he started bodybuilding, and his bodybuilder name was Mr. Scotland. So he'd go to London to participate in competitions and introduce himself as Mr. Scotland. So he really is patriotic.
Very appropriate.
And actually, it was that bodybuilding competition that got him into acting because, like, he was just planning to join those competitions and see where it would take him. But one time, a casting director happened to be watching and said, "I'd like to cast you in the chorus of this new Rodgers and Hammerstein production called South Pacific." And what he said was, "I didn't have a voice and I couldn't dance, but I could look good standing there." And I think that's what he did. And from there, he got acting gigs, and here we are today.
Yeah, I mean, in 1987, he won an Academy Award for The Untouchables, and like it's such a good movie too. Like one of those I'd say even though like Sean Connery was amazing there, I found Robert De Niro's portrayal as Scarface. What's his name? Who's the gangster?
Al Pacino.
Yeah. It was.
No, joke. Al Capone. Sorry.
Al Pacino is Scarface after. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
but like,
I got confused for a bit.
Technically, he
when he
was
said Scarface
Scarface in another movie, just not Scarface from the Prohibition era. Yeah, but yeah, Al Capone, his portrayal of Al Capone was really spot on, and like, because The Untouchables is the story of how they got Al Capone. I think Sean Connery plays this beat cop who helps the Treasury Secretary Elliot Ness to capture Al Capone. So like it was really cool. Like I really like that movie's honestly just a really good movie and one like a lot of people should watch.
Yeah.
One movie of his that I really liked, which I mentioned earlier, was Entrapment, where him and Catherine Zeta-Jones are art thieves. So I can't say much without spoiling, but you really follow the story of their heist and the aftermath. And I think it's so interesting, like not just because of the story, but also because of the stunts and choreography. Like this is the movie that popularized, you know, those laser scenes where like that flexible spy has to go through a laser maze and do stunts to get to the art, and then after that pick it up, make sure the weight is right, and then go back. This is the movie that popularized that. So for me, it was a really good watch. You guys should see it if you haven't yet, and it's on Netflix, so perfect.
Man, he's just like such a quintessential spy super agent figure, you know. I feel like without his work, like you wouldn't have things like Mission Impossible, like because I feel like those draw on those classic spy films but just add a new twist on it. Like I find the Mission Impossible series to be a really good series, honestly. I mean, but not in the same. I wouldn't put it in the same sense as James Bond. They have a different style, but they're both really good series.
It's a different style, yeah.
I feel like taking all of that into account, maybe Sean Connery wasn't just the blueprint for James Bond, but for characters of that type because of how he is, like his demeanor. He plays the role so well, and then he really looks the part. Like when you think spy, British secret agent, you think of Sean Connery right away.
Yeah, I mean, like he fits the profile, like a tall, handsome, suave guy who seems like he can actually get into a nasty fight and like win. Like he really has that vibe.
Yeah, like it's no big deal for him.
Yeah, and like
Exactly.
as he grew up,
Character.
like he kind of, I would say like it kind of changed. He became more of an old, like wise, figure. That's why like you see him in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, even The Hunt for Red October. I think he's a captain or a
Yes, he
general.
was a captain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he was.
So
A
it's cool
Russian.
how he doesn't just stick to just one like type. He kind of just
Yeah.
and like these roles are just given to him because he just fits these other roles so well.
He does. But since you brought up Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade again, he considered going out of his said retirement for the 2008 movie.
Thank God he didn't.
He decided against it because he was like, what role am I going to have? Like, what can Indiana Jones's dad do in a story like this? Plus he said like he missed playing the young dashing roles. He said, I
Yeah.
don't want to just be the dad of the main hero. I want to do this. So he decided against it in the end.
I mean, it's just I feel like we all just want to be that. I mean, when you were James Bond, wouldn't you want to like go back to playing that? But
Yeah, just go back to being James.
either way, I did find Last Crusade to be funny, and like I actually did enjoy the film, despite some of the hate it may have gotten in its heyday.
Yeah, I like The Last Crusade also. But then I really just like the Indiana Jones movies in general.
Yeah, same. Actually, there was a
Yeah.
scene that flew over my head, where where they find out that the girl is a Nazi, and then the dad knew, and then Indiana Jones was like, "How'd you know?" And he said, "She talks in her sleep." That flew over my head as a kid, cause like that means Sean Connery slept with her. If you guys didn't get that,
I didn't get that.
yeah. See, like I only got
I really
that
didn't
now.
get that.
Yeah, but when he said it, like, oh yeah, that's why he said it.
That was.
Yeah.
Another role of his that I liked was when he was in First Night as the king. As King Arthur. Did you guys see that movie?
Oh, the one with Richard Gere.
Richard
Ooh.
Gere.
Was that
It was
him?
the one with Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage. Yeah.
Richard
Or
Gere.
am I the one who's
and-
confused?
I think you're confused.
I
Yeah, it's Sean Connery as King Arthur, Richard Gere as Lancelot.
Yes, I'm the one who got confused.
I have not seen
But
that
yes, he
movie,
was great
actually.
as King Arthur. And
Yeah,
I
it was
thought that
great.
the role fit him really well because he also played Macbeth when he was much younger, doing things in London.
I feel like all those like so many artists from the UK always have those like backgrounds. Like Alec Rickman was found that way. Like I think how he got cast in Die Hard was they found
Theater.
him like doing Broadway
Yeah.
not doing West End, and they were like, yo, can you play this guy? And then he got to be Hans Gruber in Die Hard, which was like a stepping stone to being Professor Snape and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Well, it's a good way because you also know that, I mean, seeing actors on stage, you know that they'll be able to handle the camera, like with the right guidance.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of finding people. So, any other notable movies of Sean Connery you guys want to talk about?
I feel like we've covered so much, and honestly,
much,
like,
yeah.
I mean, rest in peace, Sean Connery. We'll miss you.
Actually, according to his wife, he died very peacefully in his sleep. They actually moved to the Bahamas in early 2000s, and ever since he's been like relaxing there, making the most of his life. I mean, I think he hadn't been doing much movies anymore, so he really just wanted to relax and somewhat retire. And his wife said because of dementia, in the last few months, he's hardly been himself. So when he went, it was peaceful. Like he went in his sleep, there was no pain, there was no suffering, and that's a good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it with everything
He
he's
deserved it.
done. It's good that he ended up like that, and with his family and friends.
Yes. So I think that wraps up our part of Sean Connery. So guys, anyway, let's
Well,
try to lighten up, be a bit
That's
happier.
true. That's true. It is our 1 year anniversary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yo,
So
what are you guys' favorite memories though of the show?
you start, Dom. You were the one talking right before this. You were
Okay.
saying, "OMG, full circle." So you start. How's it been a full circle for you?
I said if Andy was here, it'd be full circle. But yeah, I think my favorite memory, it wouldn't like of course I love the show, but it'd be more of the whole like how it all got started. It's like it was like a basic suggestion from Sergino Flores, the
Yes.
LFC. Uh, yeah, he just suggested na, oh, you guys should make a Radio Katipunan show, and I was like, interesting. And then I suggested it to Diana, our old president, and then suddenly it just became this big thing that we had to process, and then I had to build a team, and that in itself took months until I met Max, and then that's when I first met Cole too, because he was originally supposed to be like
A
graphics
writer,
guy,
actually. I think I was supposed to be a writer.
and yeah,
And it
And
just so
then-
happens that I came on the show, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, same. I was supposed to be PR manager. And then
plans kind of change.
yes.
That's really
It
cool though,
always
how like
changes,
everything
yeah.
was unintentional, but it just became this really big thing,
Yeah.
you know?
And it just
Exactly.
meshed together really well.
Like all of us were in roles we did, like all of us applied for completely different roles from what we have now. Right, Dom? But it
Yeah.
worked out.
I mean, yeah,
Like I
that
just
is-
suggested it. I didn't think they'd put me in charge of it. But yeah, it was an interesting journey.
It was. I remember the early days when we'd be talking about this in MVP 308, the room we missed so much. And
Yeah.
we'd buy milk tea right before the meetings and then just panic.
Wait, we need another host. Oh, we already have 2 hosts, but how about a third? And then one host would go like, "Oh shoot, it's today. I can't make it." And he'd be like, "Okay, so 2 hosts."
I remember that. I remember our test run when like we didn't even know how to talk yet. So they were like, just talk about Spider-Man for 15 minutes and go. And I remember being so confused, but it was fun.
What would you say is
Yeah,
your
I
like
was-
favorite episode, or like maybe your favorite memory on the show?
I think okay, you first.
Mine would probably be that one show where we had our friend Moosh and like our other friends were watching us in the booth Ren.
I
they
remember
were-
that.
They were just kind of annoying us, but like
Yeah.
it ended well because like we were able to get enough material, and they were sending me messages on like info of the movie we were talking about. So that was like a yay moment for me.
Yeah, I remember that. And I even remember that our friends from that day were just waiting for a grab because they were going to the Two Popes screening. So they were like, oh, we're just gonna stay here and wait. But then they ended up getting invested, especially because as we were talking, things were getting posted. So they were just sending it to us. That was fun. It also feels like a lifetime ago. Imagine we were still in the booth back then.
Yeah. And now we're at home.
Yes,
I think we
now
only had 2 episodes actually in the booth. Or
Yeah.
one or 2 episodes.
I think
And
so.
before like this whole pandemic hit. So yeah.
Mm.
Crazy.
Yeah, so anyway, I think one of my favorites was when we did the show. We were already on Zoom, but Diana, our former president, was here with our friends Ija, and then yeah, both of you were there, and we talked about
Yeah.
Percy Jackson, and it became a Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter thing. That was fun.
You mean
And
like me against
was fun.
everyone?
be
Man.
glad we didn't bring up Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds. That
Oh,
would have
God,
been
no.
that would have
Guys,
been
okay.
another fight on that
Comment,
same
do you
day.
think
I'm
Ryan
still on Reynolds.
is the best actor compared to the
Reynolds
other
is still the best.
show business? Please,
Like
if you could
who
give us a
who
better-
else would sign as a video game NPC? Who else would want to star in a movie like that?
Which star? Which one?
Which one?
Ryan Reynolds. I forgot his.
Which movie is this?
Sorry, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling.
No,
Just
no,
more
Ryan
versatility. No.
It's
One
Ryan
thing-
Reynolds.
God forgives,
Free
Ryan.
Guy.
Crazy Stupid Love. They're just all
Okay,
just so
okay.
versatile. Come on.
your 30 seconds is over. Anyway, What I liked about that episode also was how lively the audience was because we were talking about Percy Jackson and Harry Potter. So it was nice to see different perspectives as well. So what about you, Austin?
Well, I'd say my favorite episode was I did like our first episode was really interesting because it was really fun for me. Like I never got to do anything like that, and it was really fun to just talk about movies, especially with Oscar season coming out. And I think was it during the Valentine season, so we got to talk about a lot about rom-coms and
Yeah,
stuff.
it was mostly
So
rom-coms.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun, and like I guess it was like it's one of my most memorable ones because it's my first.
Of course, it's the first. And one of our last ones in the booth. How I miss the booth.
True.
Well, anyway, we actually have comments. So from Enzo Tancinco, he said he has something for you, Dom. I think you should read
Read
it.
those.
And then he said, "What's up, Max?" So hi, Enzo. Hope you're doing well. So I think we covered most memorable shows, guests, favorite episodes. Actually, it's hard for me to pick a favorite guest because I feel like everyone brings something new and something different, especially because like most of our guests have come up with different topics. So like one time we had Mr. Iglesias on the show and he talked about writing. We had my theater teacher, Mr. Ronnie Fortich, talking about musicals and adapting to
Hamilton,
the world.
which was
Yeah,
a really
Hamilton.
fun episode in itself.
Yes,
like,
that was so
It was a
fun. I think
great
that was the
episode.
three of us also. Like,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
remember our very first guest was director Alvin Yapan, and he talked about directing. So like, it's hard to compare them because they all bring something different and something nice.
I think
Reflect.
I think it's really good though that like you don't just have like one like type of guest, like you have different
Yeah.
types. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think if you guys know Joe Rogan, like he has one of the most famous podcasts like now also on Spotify. Like he also talks about he gets different types of people, whether they have different political views, because it's good to get different points of views and
Yeah.
to get a deeper understanding of what we talk about, which is film and TV shows.
Speaking of lively and memorable guests, remember my birthday episode? I think Tito Noel Ferrer was probably one of our most lively and memorable guests. I got
For sure.
I got roasted that day. It'll stay with me
Oh, I
forever.
remember
I love the treatment to you. It's always top notch.
But that was fun. That was really fun. I remember,
The funniest part, to be honest.
yeah, I remember Dom messaging me after that saying, "Oh my gosh, that was so fun. You were so roasted. You couldn't say anything." Most of my friends actually were like, "Dude, watching you suffer, the best." And I was like, "Wow, thanks."
I think that's most of our fan base. Maybe they just want to see you suffer.
Yeah.
It's just, how are we gonna make Maxine suffer today?
We gotta bring him on again. We need to
Okay.
have it right.
Yeah.
Noted.
Like, what embarrassing thing will happen today?
We'll
But
bring
who
him
would you
over
guys-
for Christmas.
Who would you guys like to have on the show if ever next time?
I'd like someone who could talk about scoring movies, like the music of movies, because that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
And I realized it a while ago when we said we had a writer, we had a director. Like, it would be nice to have sounds people and music people. It would be nice to hear about that and their
That's
part in
very
making a movie. So, John Williams, if you see this, joke. Can
Or
dream,
Danny
right?
Elfman.
Andre Desplat.
Ramin Djawadi.
Oh my god.
And the list goes ever on.
Yeah.
Although for
Honestly,
me, yeah.
Like, for a lot of like series or movies, a lot of what's happening on can kind of right type of thing. So it really
Hello.
show how
Pros for me.
music directors or composers.
I think there's a bit of a
Yes, there's a
problem.
slight delay, but I heard directors and composers. So maybe on the next half of our next year, we can have more directors and
Yeah,
composers.
if we could. I mean, I'm a big fan of Eric Mati, who directed On the Job and By Bus. It would be great to have him like for an interview. Like Like I really, On the Job is probably one of my favorite Filipino films. I loved how it was shot, how the story progressed, and the ending was just really good. And I loved I love Joel Torres there. He was really good. Oh, if we could have him on the show, that would be amazing. I was like, yo, can I have some JT Manukans? That'd be amazing.
But yeah, that being said, it would
Sponsor it.
also it would also be nice to have actors on the show. I'd like to have Liza Soberano and Enrique Hill here at the same time. That would be
Ooh.
fun.
That would be quite an interview.
It would. It would actually.
You guys should comment down below. What do you guys think? Who do you think we should interview or have on the show next?
And we'll do our best.
If we can, yeah. We'll try the most in our power.
Right. So anyway, nice one, guys. We made it to a year. So
Wow.
apart from guests, what else would you like to see happen in the next year? Dom, you first. Clapback is your child.
I would love to see you guys do like themed episodes.
Oh,
Like
what
maybe
do you
not like
mean?
an overarching theme, but like wear costumes or like backgrounds for the Zoom calls, stuff like that.
Speaking of costumes, remember how our first episode was the Halloween episode and all of us had headbands because we couldn't have
Oh, the
costumes in
headbands,
school.
yeah.
So yeah, I think you were either Elmo or Cookie Monster.
I had
I
the
was a
Cookie
cat.
Monster one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I was a cat and Andy was Elmo.
Yeah. How about you, Maxi? Like, what would you love to have on the show next?
You know what? I would like to have a special. Like, you know how sometimes Radio Katipunan has those 2-hour specials because like either something really big is happening on the show or the guest is someone really important. So like I made this joke the other day that I want to have Kenny Ortega on the show. I know he's a guest, I'm breaking my own rules, but imagine Kenny, like a 2-hour special, having Kenny Ortega on the show, reliving our high school musical memories. And for me now, talking about Julie and the Phantoms and hopefully having a season 2 of that.
Ooh, that would be pretty interesting. Although I haven't seen some of them, but you've been telling me that they're really, really good.
You should watch it. I keep telling both of you that actually. You guys have to watch Julie and the Phantoms. Like seriously, the fact that you both haven't seen it yet.
It'll be
You
on my
described
queue.
it as
It's
High
on-
School Musical.
I didn't say it is High School Musical. I said it's kind of like High School Musical, but the plot's really different. How
Not
many
for you,
times do
Dom.
I have to bring up the ghost band?
Not for you.
I mean, I would watch it. It's just like it's on my list. It's just not at the top of my list right now because I have a lot of backlog.
Ghosts.
Same, dude.
Ghosts,
Same.
it's up
It's on
your
the
alley.
queue. It's
Scared of
there. It's on the
ghosts.
list.
You like ghosts? Weren't we just talking about that earlier?
It's okay. We both have it on our list. Just be
Yeah, it's on
patient.
the list.
It's
You guys
there.
are lucky I
We'll
have
get
peppermint
there.
mocha right now. So anyway, it's been a
Are you the
funny. It's been
Are you
a
the
fun year.
spokesperson for Peppermint Mocha now?
I am every year. What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
So anyway, it's been a great year. I'm looking forward to another year, and hopefully even after we graduate, Clapback continues because it's been fun and I know it still will be fun. So to our viewers, our friends, the people we bamboozle, the people who just stumble upon this on their feeds, or the people who watch for retention, thank you. Like
Thanks for
really.
tolerating us.
Yes, from the bottom of our
Yes.
hearts, thank you for joining our conversations or watching our conversations. We really appreciate it. And we
Yeah.
hope that you spend the next year with us again. So, Dom, any parting words?
It's been a fun year, even though I've been gone for a few months. But yeah, like what you guys said, thanks to the viewers, because like it's really their comments that actually give us something more to talk about, and they really give the show a lot more meaning, since when they give their opinions, we know they're listening, and we know that we're not the only ones interested in what we're doing. So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I feel like you guys just said it all, and I feel like I'm just very happy to be a part of this, and we're really thankful about all our viewers who just comment and just give us all these things to talk about and give us a chance to just share our love and our thoughts about movies and films. So yeah, this is all really for you guys, and we're just happy to be a part of the experience and help you guys make it like what it is.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, we really just love talking about movies. So thank you for
Yes.
helping us make all of those
Yeah.
discussions livelier. So all
Thanks,
right, is that all
guys.
we have for today? Any more plugs, both of you?
I am very happy.
You're very happy. Dom, are you
Yeah.
Dom, anything?
No, I'm good.
You're
Thanks for
good. Really?
reviewing,
Okay.
guys.
All
Good
right.
luck with second quarter. To all
Okay,
the
but
student
yes,
loans.
so
even.
before we second quarter. Okay, so before we end, since Dom reminded me, good luck on second quarter. It starts today. Don't forget to check Canvas for all of the new updates that could be there. Please take a breath, close your eyes, whatever helps you cope. Let's do
Good
whatever
luck.
helps you cope. Let's do it. So the Loyola Film Circle will be screening Aswang as part of Loyola Screen, one of our annual projects, this November 21. Details will be to follow, and it'll all be on the Loyola Film Circle Facebook page. The streams will be done on Zoom, followed by a forum with some of the movie makers. So we hope to see a lot of you there. As I said, details for that will be to follow. This is not movie related, but I released a single last week. It's called Nobody Cares, featuring Manuel Legarda of Razorback and Wolfgang. So if you haven't streamed it yet, stream
Ooh,
it
guys,
again.
check it
The
out.
two of you, 20 times a day. Everyone else, 10
Guys,
times a day. Just
check
10
it out.
times a day.
It's a
Like,
great single,
seriously.
guys.
Just keep it on loop. It's on all digital platforms. Oh, hi, Nicole. Stream Nobody Cares with Heart. Yes, I agree.
you go.
Everyone, listen to Nicole.
Listen to the fans. They know
Listen
what's
to
best.
Nicole. Nicole is right. And actually, Nicole is one of LS1's project heads. So everyone show her some love. Her and one of my AVPs, and Domingo. And they've been doing a really good job so far. So it's going to be a really nice event. I understand that Aswang has only been screened in 24-hour increments online. So if you haven't caught it yet, this will be a good opportunity to catch it. So see you there. Apart from that, we've said it many times throughout the show. Thank you for being with us this year, and we
Thank
hope to
you.
see more of all of you for the year or years to come. So once again, this has been Clapback. I'm Max, and when it comes to films, I serve you the facts. So I hope you took this hour to sit back and relax.
And I'm Austin. Some people say I'm sure, just here to keep it real and to serve you your daily movie fill.
So Dom, do you want to do that?
No, I'm just gonna say I'm Dom. I was here before they started the tagline.
Ooh, OG,
That's
all right.
right. Dom is the OG. So anyway, once again, thank you so much. This has been Clapback. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yo.
Cut! Good take! Want to hear our take on all your favorite filmy things? Tune in to Clapback, the radio show for film critics, production news, pop culture, and social commentary, serving as a place for our voice in our cinematic universe. Hosted by the Loyola Film Circle, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Action!